Good morning to all of you, beta. How are you doing? So, today is the session on chapter number 10, Budgetary Control. There are total 2 sessions allocated to this chapter, chapter number 10, Budgetary Control. Okay, beta. I welcome you all to this session of Budgetary Control. Shubham Heda, good morning, beta. Naveen Kumar, good morning. How many students are online now? So, basically, this is a theoretical chapter. Rarely you will find any practical question on this particular chapter, that is budgetary control, of complete theoretical chapter, but a very simple chapter. At inter-level also, there is a chapter known as budgetary control, but the content was totally different as compared to the final level. At inter-level, you are supposed to be expert in preparing the budget. You are supposed to be expert in preparing the budget. Flexible budget, fixed budget. Do you remember this term, flexible budget and fixed budget? Although not relevant at final level, just reviving the content of inter-level. Flexible budget and fixed budget, they are very simple, beta. If you are preparing budget for a single level of output, that is known as fixed budget. But if the organization is preparing the budget for 2 or more level of output, then it is called a flexible budget, in which you have already learned that variable cost in per unit will remain same, while variable cost in totality will change according to the level of output. This is the very basic of budgetary control. Second point, fixed cost will remain same, whatever be the level of output. And particularly in case of flexible budget, our fixed cost will remain same irrespective of the level of output. We have prepared cash budget there. What would be the cash inflow? What would be the cash outflow? We will determine the closing balance. Production budget, sales budget, for different forms of functional budget has been learned by you at inter-level. But when you see the content of final level, it is not numerical oriented. Okay. It is somewhat psychological. What impact it will make if we prepare the budget, if we compare the budget with the actual performance. After comparison, if we pinpoint the mistake of our employees that yes, you have not fulfilled this commitment made at the start of the year, what will be the behavioral aspect in the employee's attitude? That we will cover in this particular chapter, chapter number 10, budgetary control. And a very unique topic has been introduced in this particular chapter, that is known as beyond budgeting. Beyond budgeting. Normally, the budgeting process will be done at the centralized level. The executives will just have to follow whatever target has been set for them. But a very unique topic has been introduced in the study material, and that is known as beyond budgeting. In beyond budgeting, the employees were given full liberty. Employees were given full liberty to control their operation, to prepare their budget. Only at the end of the session, management will check as compared to the competitor, what's your performance is. So very, very, very unique and practical topic beyond budgeting. Okay, beta? So let's start with the topic. Give the heading in your copy, chapter number 10, budgetary control. Give the heading in your copy, beta, budgetary control. So first of all, before starting this chapter, budgetary control, let us revise the concept of budget. What is budget? Can you please recall that concept, beta? The chapter name is budgetary control. So we must be clear with the term budget. What do you mean by budget? Can you please tell me, beta? What do you mean by budget? What do you mean by budget? Please communicate, beta. I am waiting for your answer. What do you mean by budget? Okay. Budget is an estimated event of future income and expenditure for a specified period of time. Some terminologies are very important. First of all, budget is an estimation. It's an forecast. Okay. Second point is budget can be prepared for income, budget can be prepared for expenditure, budget can be prepared for both. And the important point further is for a definite future period. The word definite word is very important. We have to identify whether we are preparing the budget for a month, for a year, or for a 5 year. So budget is an estimation of income and expenditure for a definite future period of time. So I strongly request beta to write down the definition of budget. Please write down. Because all this basic work, whenever the question setter sets the level of this particular chapter, so if this small basic will definitely work for that beta. Please write down what is budget. Budget is an estimation of revenue and expense. Budget is an estimation of revenue and expense over a specified future period of time. Over a specified future period of time. Underline these two words, whatever you have written, it's an estimation. Underline this point. Budget is an estimation. And second important point is over a future period of time, over a specified future period of time. It must be converted into number of days, number of weeks, year, etc. So the future period must be definite, that is specified future period of time. So it's an estimation of income and expenses over a specified future period of time. But when you see the heading of this chapter, the chapter is budgetary control. We have just revised the concept of budget that you have learned at the inter level. Now, what do you mean by budgetary control? Okay, budget is an estimation of income and expenses over a specified future period of time. Now, the important question is, what do you mean by budgetary control? Okay, please listen very carefully, beta. Budgetary control is a broader term which includes budget. So the very first step of budgetary control is preparation of budget. Whenever you say budgetary control, the very first step in budgetary control is preparation of budget. Okay. The next step in budgetary control is comparing that budget with the actual at the end of a specified future period. Once again, repeat with me, beta. What I said? The first step is preparation of budget. The second step of budgetary control is once the specified future period is over, we will compare our actual performance with the budgeted one. जो हमने budget सोचा था, that will be compared with the actual one to find out the deviation. But the budgetary control doesn't stop here. Once the comparison are done, whether our revenue has been increased or decreased, expenditure has been increased or decreased, once the comparison has been done, that is, once the variance has been found out. What is variance? Difference between budget and actual. Once the variance is found out, the third and the last step of budgetary control is to find out the reason for such variance and fix the problem now so that the same mistake cannot be repeated in the future. So can you please repeat those three steps, beta? What are the three content of budgetary control? The first one, preparation of budget. Very good. The second one, please recall the second one. Very good. Comparison of budgeted result with the actual result. And the third one, once variance has been identified, then it will be analyzed why this variance has occurred and some resolution will be provided so that the same mistake will not happen in future budgeted period. So budgetary control is much broader than the concept of budget. Please write down, beta. Budgetary control. Here's the heading, budgetary control. It's a system of controlling cost. It's a system of controlling cost which includes the following. It's a system of controlling cost which includes the following. Please write down the very first point: preparation of budget. Second point, comparing actual performance. Comparing actual performance with the budgeted one. And initiate corrective action if any. And initiate corrective action if any. This is the second step of budgetary control. And initiate corrective action if any. The third point, coordinating the departments and establishing their responsibilities. Coordinating the departments. Third point, coordinating the departments and establishing their responsibilities. Now, what do you mean by this word, coordinating the department? Coordinating the department. Department में समन्वय बनाना. Coordinating the department. What do you mean by this word, coordinating the department? Can you please think over it, beta? Undoubtedly, budgetary control involves preparation of budget, comparing actual with the budget, and initiate the corrective action, if any. And the third and the last step given in the study material is coordinating among the department and thereafter fixing their responsibility. So I'm giving you some time, 30 seconds to 45 seconds, to think on your own. What do you mean by coordinating the department? What do you mean by coordinating the department? Why there is a necessity that if you want to achieve the desired result, if you want to control the cost, there should be coordination among the different departments. Why there should be coordination among the different departments? Think over it, beta. I'm giving you 30 seconds to 45 seconds to think on your own. Then I will communicate to you the logic. What is the logic of coordination among the department? The logic is individual department cannot work in isolation. Individual department cannot work in isolation. One department is dependent on other department. For example, if the marketing department has estimated that the sales for the coming year should be minimum 20,000 units. The marketing department has prepared the budget that sales should be minimum 20,000 units. If sales department prepare its budget based on those 20,000 units and try to sell those output, it will be a total miscoordination among the department. Unless and until sales department gets the output from the production department, sales department cannot perform its function effectively. Sales department requires those units, and that too in a timely manner, so that it can be delivered to the customer on a timely basis. So whenever sales department budget is prepared, sales department has to check with the production department whether we are having such production capacity in place to manufacture those 20,000 units. Okay. So sales department has coordinated with the production department. Production department has given a thumbs up that yes, we are having a capacity of 20,000 units to manufacture. Now, production department requires raw material. Production department requires labor. So production department has to coordinate with the store department. We require raw material for 20,000 kg, whether we will be having those 20,000 kg raw material. Store department will have to coordinate with the purchase department and so on, beta. So unless and until all the departments are coordinated and directed towards the organizational goal. The purpose of budgetary control cannot be achieved. Therefore, one of the necessary steps in budgetary control is coordinating among the department. मतलब एक बजट अपने आप में इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं है. That budget of one department is dependent on other, or other departmental budget is dependent on that budget. So there should be coordination and responsibility should be fixed so that the comparison can be made and corrective action can be taken. Okay बेटा, चलिए अब आप आइए स्टडी मटेरियल में. प्लीज ओपन पेज नंबर 2 बेटा. प्लीज ओपन पेज नंबर 2. Read out all these 3 paragraphs given in page number 2. Your cooperation is required, beta, in this particular chapter because it's a theoretical chapter. Unless and until you will participate in this reading, then it will be a boring chapter, beta. No, it's a very, very important chapter from examination viewpoint. Once you participate in the reading process, then definitely it will be comfortable for you, beta. No? So important chapter from examination viewpoint. A question is expected, always expect from this chapter, chapter number 11, budgetary control. However, it can be ranged from 4 marks to 10, 12 marks. Okay. So I'm giving you beta 2 to 3 minutes to read out this 3 para, which guide you about what is budgetary control and what is budget. Once you read out this point, we will move on to the next page. Okay. So 2 to 3 minutes are available with you. Okay, beta. Hope you have read out the same. No doubt in that point. Now we will move on to the 3rd page and start the first formal topic in this particular chapter, that is feedback and feed forward control. A very, very important topic of this particular chapter, although there are more or less 4 particular topics in this particular chapter, beta. Feedback and feed forward control, the first topic. The second topic is what is the effect of budget difficulty on human behavior? Effect of budget difficulty on human behavior. That is the second and a very small topic. Third topic is important, participation in budget setting process. And the last one is beyond budgeting. So very small chapter, but still important chapter from examination viewpoint. Please give the heading of the first topic, feedback and feed forward control. Feedback and feed forward control. Feedback and feed forward control. So both are the control system in an organization. Both are not mutually exclusive. They can be implemented or an organization can implement both the technique, that is feed forward and feedback control in their organization. But the purpose is totally different. First of all, we will discuss feedback control, a very simple topic which you already know, feedback control. Feedback control is basically active once the specified future period is over. Once the budget period is over, then we will compare that actual result with the budgeted one and will take corrective action based on the variances reported. So there has to be some error in order to take action in case of feedback control. ना बहुत ही simple system है बेटा. While the feed forward control is a preventive function. If you have prepared the budget for a year and in the mid of the year or at some point of time of budget period, you find out any event that will affect your achievement of budgeted result, then you will take action before the happening of that particular event. That is known as feed forward control. नहीं समझ में आया? Let's take an example, beta. Suppose your attempt is on May 2022. आपका attempt May 2022 में है. Okay. If student A think that he has done sufficient preparation to clear examination of May 22, so what he will do? He will directly appear in the main examination of the institute, and once the results are announced in the month of July 22, Mr. A will check whether his preparation was up to the mark or not. मतलब ये पहले से कोई भी एक feed forward control mechanism implement नहीं कर रहा है. They will totally rely on his ability that yes, I will be able to clear May 22 attempt. I will not give any mock test. I will not give any mock test before the examination. I will directly appear in May 22 and will try to clear the examination. And once the results are announced, his expectation will be compared with the actual result announced by the institute in July 22. While Mr. B has already planned to score minimum 450 marks in both the group. Now, after the preparation of January 22, February 22, March 22, he wants to analyze whether his preparation are going in the right direction or not. So, Mr. B appears for the mock test paper conducted by the institute before appearing for main final exam. What was the target of Mr. B? To score minimum 450 marks through the mock test paper conducted by the ICAI before the main examination of May 22. He wants to assure whether his preparation are going in the right direction or not. If any unfortunate event happen in those mock test paper, Mr. B has enough time to react before the main examination so that the error committed in the main examination can be minimized. तो मिस्टर ए ने कोई भी मॉक टेस्ट पेपर नहीं दिया, even after ascertaining that his preparation was not up to the mark as expected by him some months before, even though he directly appeared in the May 22 examination, Once the results are announced, he will check whether his performance was up to the mark or not. While Mr. B has prepared for January, February, and March 22, and he wants to analyze his target, whether he was going proper in that direction or not before going for the main examination. This is a very simple layman example of feedback and feed forward control. फीडबैक कंट्रोल सिस्टम में हम पहले वो पूरी इवेंट कंप्लीट हो जाने देते हैं. जस्ट उस इवेंट को कंप्लीट होने के बाद हम एरर को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं ताकि वो एरर हमारा नवंबर 22 में रिपीट ना हो, ताकि वो एरर हमारा नवंबर 22 में रिपीट ना हो. While feed forward control is if whatever you have planned for yourself, if some adverse event is happening, you must be prepared, you must target those adverse events before that event has actually occurred, so that you can minimize the adverse impact of those negative events. That is known as feed forward control mechanism. Like introduction clear hua beta? What is feedback and feed forward? Just an introduction. Detailed discussion will be started in a minute or two. Okay, please write down in your copy beta. Yeah, Vinash, there is a very remote probability beta that a practical question will be there in case of this particular chapter, chapter number 10, budgetary control. I have already told you that the numerical portion of the budgetary control has been covered by the institute at inter level. At final level, you are not supposed to prepare the cash budget, production budget, or sales budget. Very rare chances, very remote chances. Although a question can be asked, but from my personal opinion, it's very rare chances that a practical question comes from this particular chapter. This particular chapter has somewhat significance regarding the psychological impact on employee regarding the budgetary control preparation. Okay, Avinash? आइए बेटा, please write down. हेडिंग दे दी आपने, फीडबैक एंड फीड फॉरवर्ड कंट्रोल सिस्टम. पहला पॉइंट लिखिए और रेड पेन से लिखिए, दिस आर इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड्स. Feedback and feed forward control system are the two types of control system. Underline the word control system. Are the two types of control system that operates in a budgetary control. That operates in a budgetary control. Write down the second point. Both the technique can be applied in the organization. Both the technique can be applied in the organization, but their functioning is quite different. But their functioning is quite different. Write down the third point, beta. Feedback control is a detective and corrective mechanism. Feedback control is a detective and corrective mechanism. Is a detective and corrective mechanism. While feed forward control is a preventive mechanism. While feed forward control is a preventive mechanism. So let's start the topic beta, feedback control. Give the heading, feedback control. What is feedback control? Let's study from the study material first, beta. It's a detective and corrective action. Feedback control is a detective and corrective function, while feed forward control is a preventive function. I'm in page number 4 of the study material, beta. Please open page number 4 of study material. What is feedback control system? It identifies an error that has already taken place. This is very, very important. You cannot rectify that error. That error has already been committed. Just through this system of feedback control, you are detecting that error. You are identifying the error. So it's a detective technique that identifies an error that has already taken place. This word is very important when we compare feedback with the feed forward control. So error has already been committed. How this error has been identified? This error has been identified by comparing the actual data with the budgeted data. By comparing the actual data with the budgeted data. So feedback control is a detective tool which identifies the error which has already taken place. This word is most important word in this concept of feedback control. Error already taken place. Now, how this error can be identified? By comparing the budgeted result with the actual result. Okay, but one more step is there in feedback control. The concept we have just studied is the detective tool, while feedback control is also a corrective tool. Once the error has been identified, now necessary action will be taken to correct that error so that the same will not be repeated in the future. Suppose you have prepared the budget for financial year 21-22. Okay. When the feedback control system will be operational? Feedback control system will be operational once the budget period is over on 31st March 2022. After completion of financial year 21-22, what feedback control will do? Feedback control will identify the error by comparing the budget of financial year 21-22 with the actual of financial year 21-22. So feedback control is a detective tool. Once by comparing these two data, we will be able to know the error that has already been taken place. Now we will take the corrective action. Why this error has occurred in the organization? We will take corrective action in the month of April 22. Once the budget period is over, April 22, so that the same mistake cannot be repeated in the future budget period, that is financial year 22-23 onwards. So it's a detective tool. Once the detection of error that has already taken place been identified, then we will move on to the corrective tool. So very important definition has been given by the Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, London. Please refer this definition, beta. What they say about the feedback control system? It's the measurement of differences between planned output, that is the budget, and the actual output achieved. So the very first step in feedback control is identification of error. In other words, they use the word measurement of differences between the planned and the actual output achieved. This is the first step of feedback control, a detective mechanism. Once the error detection is done, now the modification of subsequent action. This word is very important. Subsequent action. You cannot rectify the action that have already been taken place in the financial year 21-22. Once the detection has been done, now the modification of subsequent action and plan to achieve future required results so that the same error cannot be committed in the future. Okay, so feedback control system is the measurement of differences between the planned output and the actual output achieved, and the modification of subsequent action or plan to achieve the future desired result. Okay, beta, please write down in your copy the very first point. Please write down the very first point, beta. as a detective tool. As a detective tool. Write down in this point, detective tool में लिखिए, it identifies an error that has already taken place by comma, by comparing the budget with the actual. By comparing the budget with the actual. Write down second point, as a corrective tool. Once the error has been identified, comma, subsequent action will be modified. Underline the word subsequent. Subsequent actions will be modified so that the same error is not committed in future budget period. So that the same error cannot be committed in the future budget period. And write down this very, very important definition. लिखिए बेटा third point इसमें, definition given by CIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accountant. You can write the abbreviated word CIMA. Definition given by CIMA. Please write down this definition appearing in the screen beta. Write down. इसमें पहला पॉइंट लिखिएगा, measurement of differences between the planned and actual output achieved. Measurement of differences between the planned and actual output achieved. Measurement of differences between the planned and actual output achieved. Comma, and write down the second point in the same definition. Second point, the modification of subsequent action. The modification of subsequent actions, oblique plan to achieve future required result. To achieve future required result. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट लिखिए बेटा, इसी में अब आपके टोटल में 3 या 4 पॉइंट हो गए. एज अ डिटेक्टिव टूल, एज अ करेक्टिव टूल, एंड द डेफिनेशन गिवन बाय CIMA, चार्टर्ड इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट अकाउंटेंट. अब लिखिए आप नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, कंट्रोल रिपोर्ट. इसी में फीडबैक कंट्रोल में बेटा, फीडबैक कंट्रोल में ही चौथा पॉइंट लिखिए अब, कंट्रोल रिपोर्ट. Once the budgeted period is over, इसमें लिखिए बेटा, once the budgeted period is over, comma, a control report should be prepared. A control report should be prepared and forwarded to the top management. And forwarded to the top management. फुल स्टॉप. नेक्स्ट लाइन में लेके बेटा, द फॉलोइंग आर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, द फॉलोइंग आर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ कंट्रोल रिपोर्ट. है ना, इसमें आप लिख दीजिए बेटा, गिवन इन पेज नंबर 5 ऑफ स्टडी मटेरियल, गिवन इन पेज नंबर 5 ऑफ स्टडी मटेरियल. देखिए यहां से पढ़ते बेटा, तो जो एक कंट्रोल रिपोर्ट बनेगी एट द एंड ऑफ द दोज बजट पीरियड, उस कंट्रोल रिपोर्ट में क्या क्या मिनिमम होना ही चाहिए, what should be the content of those content report. It has been guided in the study material. The very first point is control report should be an unbiased one. It should disclose accomplishment along with the responsibility. जो अच्छा काम किया है that should also be disclosed. जो उन्होंने बुरा काम किया है that should also be disclosed. So accomplishment and the responsibility both should be disclosed in the control report. ऐसा ना हो कि सिर्फ आप जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उसी को वहां पे आप डिस्क्लोज कर रहे हो, यू आर नॉट डिस्क्लोजिंग द अकम्प्लिशमेंट डन बाय द पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट. सेकेंड, फीडबैक रिपोर्ट शुड बी एक्सट्रैक्टेड प्रॉम्प्टली, समय पर. द रीजन इज जितना डिले आप करेंगे कंट्रोल रिपोर्ट बनाने में, आपका फाइनेंशियल ईयर 21-22 is over. We have taken the example. Okay. So definitely next financial year will start on 1st April 2022. So if control report is not done on timely basis, then what will happen? Whatever error you have committed in the financial year, in the past year 21-22, the same error will going to continue in financial year 22-23 also. But if you prepare the control report timely manner, say in the April 22 for the budget period 21-22, then definitely those error will be identified early so that corrective action can be taken so that the same error cannot be repeated in the future month of a new financial year. Okay, beta? So it should be extracted promptly. Feedback report should disclose trend and relationship. है ना? लास्ट ईयर में भी ये वेरिएंस फेवरेबल आया था क्या, लास्ट ईयर में ये वेरिएंस एडवर्स आया था क्या, तो आपको एक ट्रेंड बताना. और रिलेशनशिप का मतलब होता है इफ अ वेरिएंस इज एडवर्स, whether that variance is adverse due to a other favorable variance, whether a variance is adverse due to other favorable variance. What I am trying to say, suppose the standard price of raw material is 40 rupee per kg, 40 rupee per kg, but during the period you have purchased a superior quality raw material, you have purchased a superior quality raw material at the rate rupee 48 per kg. The same quality of raw material is still available at rupee 40, but the company has purchased the superior quality of raw material at rupee 48. Now, when you calculate the material price variance, you will get a favorable variance or adverse variance. Definitely you will get an adverse variance, because the standard price is 40 rupee per kg while the actual price is 48. So while calculating the variance related to material price, it will denote an adverse variance. But you have to check the relationship. If material quality has been improved, then definitely the material usage variance, material consumption ratio will be less. So there will be favorable material usage variance due to adverse price variance, and just vice versa beta. Suppose you have purchased an inferior quality of raw material, so definitely your price variance will be favorable, but your consumption will be more as compared to the budget. Now there will be having adverse material usage variance. So it is trying to say that not only you should disclose the trend, but you should also disclose the relationship among those trends. है ना? Next point, वेरिएंस हमें बताना है. ओके, और ये सिंपल है. एंड कंट्रोल रिपोर्ट शुड बी इन स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड फॉर्मेट, बिकॉज जब आप एक ही फॉर्मेट में रिपोर्ट करते हैं ना, हर रिपोर्ट का कंटेंट हर बंदे के लिए यूजफुल नहीं होता है. Some content are useful for strategic level of management, some content are useful for tactical level of management. If the control report is prepared in standardized format, then definitely they will be accustomed to that format, and whatever detail they require, they can directly go to that page only, without wasting any time. So the control report that will be prepared under feedback control system must possess the following 5 characteristics. Okay, beta? Now write down the last point of feedback control: limitation. Limitation. इसमें लिखे the following are the 2 limitations. The following are the 2 limitations of feedback control system. The following are the 2 limitations of feedback control system. Write down the first point, beta. Write down the first point. It heavily depends on error detection system. Rightly said, Navita. If the error is not identified, then no corrective action can be taken. So it heavily depends on error detection system. The second point is very, very important. The second point is very important. Please write down the second point. The second point is very important. Time lag. First write down, then I will make you understand this point. Time lag between error detection, error confirmation, and error revision. Comma, during which actual result may change again. During which actual result may change again. What does it mean, beta? No? Please understand, this is a very important point of limitation. And the first point is very simple. It heavily depends on error detection system. Second point is important. Suppose you have prepared the budget for financial year 21-22. Okay. Suppose on 20th April 2022, on 20th April 2022, you identify the error. Okay, on 20th April 22, you identify the error that have already taken place in the financial year 21-22. Okay. Now, this error has to be confirmed by the operational team. So, you send the variance report to the various persons: sales team, marketing team, production team, purchase team, HR department. You send variance report to numerous departments so that the error can be confirmed by those departments. Suppose this error has been confirmed by all the departments on 15th May 2022. Error confirmed. Yes, we have committed this error. They have confirmed that. Now, we will take corrective action. And for corrective action, the top management approval is required. So suppose the discussion takes place long and the top management has given the approval on 19th of July to revise the data approval. So what this particular limitation is saying, there is a time gap between error detection, error confirmation, and taking subsequent action, that is error revision. During this time of roughly 3 to 4 months, actual result might change. जो आज एरर आ रहा है हो सकता है उससे बढ़कर अब हमारा 3 months में कोई एरर आ रहा है. अब ये जो 3 months में हमने एरर कमिट किया, April 2022, May 2022, June 2022, and some part of July 22, the same error might change its nature. So therefore, the second point is very important, that control report should be prepared on due basis, timely basis, because the less the time between the error detection, error confirmation, and error revision, the more successful will be the feedback control system. क्योंकि जो error हो चुका है, we cannot change that error, but if we prepare the timely report, if we timely confirm the error and thereafter take the necessary action in a timely manner, definitely the same error will not be repeated for a long future period that has already started in the form of financial year 22-23. क्लियर है बेटा? बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट है, फीडबैक कंट्रोल सिस्टम. ठीक है, चलिए अब हेडिंग दीजिए बेटा, फीड फॉरवर्ड कंट्रोल सिस्टम. फीड फॉरवर्ड कंट्रोल सिस्टम. सबसे पहले आई विल आस्क यू अ क्वेश्चन. कंपेयर द डेफिनेशन गिवन बाय Chartered Institute of Management Accountant related to feedback control system. On page number 4, you have been given this definition of feedback control system. Okay. Compare this definition of feedback control system given by the same institute, CIMA, with the definition given by the same institute related to feed forward control. So page number 4 और page number 6 में जो आपको CIMA के द्वारा डेफिनेशन दी गई है रिगार्डिंग द फीडबैक एंड द फीड फॉरवर्ड, कंपेयर दोस टू डेफिनेशन एंड गिव मी द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड. इफ यू डोंट राइट दैट वर्ड बेटा, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू स्कोर द मार्क्स इन द डेफिनेशन पार्ट ऑफ फीडबैक एंड फीड फॉरवर्ड. तो दोनों की डेफिनेशन आप कंपेयर कीजिए, गिवन ऑन पेज नंबर 4 एंड पेज नंबर 6, एंड communicate me the most important word. There is a single important word that will make a huge difference in the definition of page number 4 and page number 6. I am stressing on this because unless and until you will be able to know the difference, then definitely error can easily be committed in the examination related to the definition part. But once we know the importance of that particular word which has been replaced in page number 6 as compared to page number 4, definitely you will remember it till the examination period. Okay, beta? So I'm giving you 2 minutes or 3 minutes to identify on your own what is the most important word change. There is a very important word change. What is that word? Please communicate to me, beta. Very, very good, Venkatesh and Surya Lodi. Wow, beta, very, very good. You have identified the correct word. Congratulations, beta. What about other student, beta? Shubham, Priya, Naveen Kumar, Priyadarshini, Avinash. Please answer, beta. What, according to you, is the most important word difference in the definition given by the CIMA related to feedback and feed forward control? I am giving you another 30 seconds to reply to me, beta. Okay, Hemant Kumar correctly identified, beta. Sumit Kumar correctly identified. Okay, beta. The most important word difference in the definition given by the CIMA related to feedback and feed forward control is the word. While you see the definition of feed forward control, it's not the measurement, it's the forecasting of difference between actual and planned outcome. It's the forecasting of differences between actual and planned outcome, while the definition given for feedback control system is the measurement of difference. वहां पे forecasting word है, यहाँ पे actual measurement word है, because feedback control system will take place once the action has been completed, while feed forward control system is a proactive approach. Before those events have been occurred, we are taking the necessary step to minimize the adverse impact of that. So please beta, always remember, whenever you write the definition given by the CIMA in the topic feedback and feed forward control, this word is very, very important. It's the measurement in feedback control system. You are actually measuring what's the difference between planned and actual output. While in case of feedback control system, you will not be able to accurately measure, just you will forecast what would be the difference of this adverse event if actually materialized. So this is the important difference between forecasting of difference between actual and planned outcome and the implementation of action before the event. Feedback control system if after the action has been taken place, after the event has been taken place, while this is before the event has been taken place, to avoid such differences. Please write down in your copy beta. It is a control mechanism. Write down the very first point. It is a control mechanism before the error has taken place. It's a control mechanism before the error has taken place. Write down the definition given by the CIMA beta. Second point, definition given by CIMA. Okay, beta. Again, we have to write this definition in two parts. Please write down the definition, beta. Write down the first point of the definition. Forecasting of differences between actual and planned outcome. Forecasting of differences between actual and planned outcomes. Comma, and write down the second point. Write down the second point. The implementation of action. The implementation of action before the event. The implementation of action before the event to avoid such difference. To avoid such difference. Now, beta, underline these two words. The first word you have to underline is the word forecasting, and the second word you have to underline is before the event. That's the basic difference between feedback and feed forward. Feedback is after the event has been taken place. Feed forward is before the event has taken place. Okay, beta. A very good example has been given in the study material related to the COVID. Let's read out that study material example first, and then I will explain you that study material example through a diagram. Please open page number 6. Example number 2. This will definitely help you to identify the difference between feedback and feed forward control. Please read out example number 2, beta. Smart move company made a smart move in anticipating its sale demand of 1,000 units of ready-made garment for the next year 2020 based on its current year sale and market research that took account for changing customer preference. What they are saying? They have prepared a budget for the calendar year 2020 that starts from 1st January till 31st December, है ना? और ये जो बजट इन्होंने बनाया था ये 1000 यूनिट्स का बजट बनाया था. However, in the third month of year 2020, March 2020 में इंडिया में लॉकडाउन लगना स्टार्ट हुआ था बेटा. So, in the month of year March 2020, COVID news came like bolt from the blue and things changed drastically. The management team therefore changed its anticipation and forecasted that it could sell only 400 units in a year, running due to falling purchasing power of customers. Thus, with the use of feed-forward control, the firm could proactively identify the issue before it has happened, before the event has actually happened. Now, we will understand this particular example through a diagram. हमने फाइनेंशियल ईयर हमने एक बजट बनाया था सपोज 2020 के लिए. We have prepared the budget and the units in the budget period is 10,000 units. ठीक है, जो हमारा बजट था वो चलेगा आपका जनवरी 2020 टू दिसंबर 2020. जनवरी 2020 टू दिसंबर 2020 तक ये बजट चल रहा है हमारा. जब थर्ड मंथ आया, लगभग मान के चलिए 15 मार्च अपन यहां पे अज्यूम कर सकते हैं. वी कैन अज्यूम इट एट 15 मार्च. 10,000 यूनिट के हिसाब से सेल बरोबर लगातार होते रही जनवरी में, फरवरी में एंड टिल मिड ऑफ द मार्च. बट news has been came related to the COVID that definitely India will also hit by this COVID situation. So definitely the sale target of 10,000 will not be able to achieve. वो अभी year खत्म नहीं है बेटा. December 20 is not yet over. We are at 15 March 2020. But we, before that action has taken place, before the COVID hit us hard, so we have forecast the detail that a maximum of 300 units can be sold in the calendar year 2020. So there is a difference of, 3,000 units can be sold. So there is a difference of 7,000 units between the budgeted and the forecasted result. Now, action will be taken before the year end, that is on 15th of March 2022, so that the adverse impact of 7,000 units can be minimized to the greatest extent. है ना? तो यहां पे हम पहले से लेंगे कि भैया ठीक है, कोविड पीरियड में whenever there is a lockdown, we will not be able to supply the goods unless it is a necessary item. Once the COVID period are over, how we will plan those things, how we will deal with the lower purchasing power of the customer, that has to be dealt with on 15th of March, so that the adverse impact of budget of 7,000 units can be minimized to a greater extent. So this is known as feed forward control system. जबकि फीडबैक कंट्रोल सिस्टम क्या करता है बेटा? लेट द इवेंट हैपन, नो नेसेसरी एक्शन विल बी टेक प्लेस, एंड एट द एंड ऑफ December 22 we will compare our budgeted data of 10,000 unit with the actual data of 3,000 unit and identify the variance, that is 7,000 units adverse area. While in case of feed forward control system, if we have the probability of an event, future event that will affect us, then definitely before those event has actually happened, we will take the necessary action so that the adverse impact of those variance can be minimized. Hope the matter is clear, beta. Feedback and feed forward control system. If you are having any doubt, you can ask, beta. I am waiting for your doubt, beta. Then we will proceed some more points on feed forward control system. Any doubt, beta? In feedback and feed forward, are you able to identify the difference between feedback and feed forward? Can we move further, beta? Okay. Now, please write down the limitation of feed-forward control system. Limitation of feed-forward control system. Give the heading. Subheading. Limitation. You are estimating in future events. So uncertainty का जो issue है वो इसमें पहला point होता है. Write down the first point बेटा. It's an estimation of uncertain future event. It's an estimation of uncertain future event. Second, most important limitation. No tools have the potential. No tools have the potential to deal with problem of uncertainty. No tools have been developed have the potential to deal with the problem of uncertainty. Just consider the example of third wave, beta, na? Estimate has been made in the month of December 2021 that the third wave will hit hard India. But as we are seeing now, there are a daily more than 2 or 3 lakh cases overall India. But still, the panic is not there. Still, the situation of second wave is not there. So, whatever estimation you have been done for the calendar year 2022, that has been not been materialized because future is total uncertain event as compared to the first wave, second wave, third wave is totally different. Each and everything is open nowadays, even after getting so much of cases. So, for future is uncertain, no tools have the potential to determine the to resolve the problem of uncertainty. Okay, beta. Now we will deal with one of the question given in page number 8 of the study material, beta. Hai? So I'm giving you time to read out this question on your own and tell me the most important point of this question regarding how you will identify this particular question given on page number 8, case scenario question as related to feedback and feed forward control system. Because nowhere in the question the word feedback and feed forward control word has been used. Still, the question relates to feedback and feed forward control. I have already told you this point beta multiple time. कभी भी जब भी आप फर्स्ट टाइम लर्न कर रहे हैं आप ये मत सोचिए कि हमने फीडबैक और फीड फॉरवर्ड कंट्रोल सिस्टम पढ़ा है अब हम उसका क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं. जब आप क्वेश्चन पढ़ के कंप्लीट हो जाता है आस्क योरसेल्फ व्हाई दिस क्वेश्चन relates to feedback and feed forward. If you don't ask this question right now, beta, if the same question appear in the examination, na, you will not be able to identify the concept that will be applicable to a particular question. But in the learning session, if you ask for each and every question, unless and until the clear hint is given that identify the situation as for feedback and feed forward, if no direct communication has been given regarding a concept, how you will identify that this question relates to feedback and feed forward control system. So I'm giving you sufficient time of beta 5 minutes, read out on your own and try out, figure out the most important point, how this question relates to feedback and feed forward control system. What are the words given in the question that indicate, yes, you have to apply the feedback and feed forward control system. Okay, beta, I'm giving you sufficient time of 5 minutes to read out this question, not to solve this question, and just give me the identification criteria of feedback and feed forward related to this particular question. Clear? Sure. 1 more minute is available to you, beta. Please identify the words that will indicate the concept of feedback and feed forward control. No, Brajesh Kumar, beta, how you will identify an examination, beta? What are the words given in the question that will indicate that if this question is related to feedback and feed forward? Right now, it's very simple because we have just learned the concept. Therefore, the question relates to that concept only. But my issue is how a student will identify in the examination regarding the application of feedback and feed forward control. Definitely, hint is given in the question, beta. Just you have to identify those hints. No, Sairam beta, not this time. The answer is not correct. No, Furia Lodi beta. No. Hemant Kumar, the answer is not right beta. How you will identify an examination beta? Because whenever you go in examination, you will carry numerous concepts. How you can identify? Let's check it out. The most important words, no identification has been given till now. यहां तक कोई भी आइडेंटिफिकेशन में नहीं दिया हुआ है कि फीडबैक कंट्रोल सिस्टम है या फीड फॉरवर्ड कंट्रोल सिस्टम का क्वेश्चन है. नाउ इन द रिक्वायरमेंट पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन those two words are very, very important, and these two words are being exclusively used in the whole syllabus for this concept of feedback and feed forward, and those two words are control system. Using the context of control system, these two words control system will appear only and only for the topic feedback and feed for control system. Other than this two words, you have no detail given in the question that why we will apply the feedback and feed forward control system in this particular question. These are the most crucial word beta. Please write down beta in your copy. How to identify that the question given in page number 8, how to identify the question given in page number 8, comma, relates to feedback and feed forward control system. Feedback and feed forward control system. Question mark. Please write down beta. Next line में लिखे आप. In the requirement part of the question, in the requirement part of the question, comma, the words in the requirement part of the question, comma, the words control systems. The word control systems, inverted comma close, has been given. Comma, this word will be exclusively used. This word will be exclusively used for feedback, for the concept of, this words will be exclusively used for the concept of feedback and feed forward control. This word will be exclusively used for the concept of feedback and feed forward. So I strongly recommend, beta, whenever you study any topic, any chapters, any subject, of those 8 papers, always try to convince yourself why this question relates to a particular concept. कभी भी आप इस लेवल पे मत जाइएगा कि आपने एक कंसेप्ट पढ़ा, सीधा उससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है तो सॉल्व करने लग गया by applying that concept. The bigger problem will arrive in the examination hall. So you will not be able to identify the concept that will be applicable to a particular question. But if in the learning stage, you ask for each and every question, what are the words given in the question, due to which we have applied this concept, then definitely you will be very well prepared for the examination to identify the concept. And as per my experience of 15 years in this teaching, beta, I have noticed that more than 60-70% student faces this problem of identification in the examination. And the solution to this, whenever you start learning, always ask yourself a question, why this question will relate to a particular concept. What are the hints available in that question? If I am able to identify those hints, and then I will apply the particular concept. Okay, beta? Chalo. अब आते हैं अपन बेटा इस क्वेश्चन में. For the requirement part is identify and explain the type of control which is prevalent in the company and which is proposed in the company. So very simple, beta. Majority of the student has rightly identified the current system is feedback control system. We have to write about feedback control system in 7 to 10 lines. Thereafter, the system which is proposed is feed forward control system. You have to explain the feed forward control system. For complete theoretical question, the only requirement part is identification of the concept. Clear, beta? Chaliye. Now, we will take a break of 10 to 12 minutes. After the break, we will do one more question on feedback and feed forward control system. And thereafter, we will move to a topic known as effect of budget difficulty on performance. है ना बेटा? तो ब्रेक लेते हैं, फिर ब्रेक के बाद अपन ये चैप्टर को और आगे कंटिन्यू करते हैं. सो ब्रेक इज टिल 8:35, है ना? 8:35 तक आपका ब्रेक है बेटा. उसके बाद फिर अपन ये रिमेनिंग टॉपिक स्टार्ट करते हैं. ब्रेक टिल 8:35. ओके, टेक अ ब्रेक. Screen share is not there, no? Okay. Okay, student, welcome back, Vika. Now we will do one more question on feedback and feed forward control system. And next we will move to the next topic. Please open page number 25 of the study material. Page number 25 of the study material, beta. Question number 1. In this question, I will not ask you the same question, how you will identify feedback and feed forward, because it is clearly communicated in the requirement part that you will use the concept of feedback and feed forward control. Okay. So what's special in this particular case scenario? Let's read it out, beta. Page number 25, question number 1. Can I start? Okay. EW Partners, a leading strategy and management consulting firm, is preparing its budget for the year to 31st March 2021. So the client name is EW Partner. Budget is in preparation stage, preparing its budget for the year ended 31st March 2021. One of the partner W is concerned about liquidity. He argued that a firm with adequate liquidity has less risk of being unable to meet their liability than an illiquid firm. है ना? तो liquidity चाहिए, profit के साथ साथ इन्हें liquidity चाहिए. It means they require the cash balance, bank balance. Where a firm has adequate liquidity, there is also the possibility of enriched profitability through reduced interest outlay or increased interest income, together with greater financial flexibility to negotiate enhanced terms with supplier and financial or participate in new business opportunity. Now the partner is convincing his point that when a firm is having adequate liquidity, they will be able to reduce their interest cost, or they will be able to increase their interest income. They will have financial flexibility to negotiate terms with the supplier that if you supply us raw material, we will pay you the money in right now in cash. We don't require any credit period, but we require some extra discount. You will be able to negotiate that. Or if any there is any business opportunity, you can grab that. Okay. Accordingly, Mr. W, one of the partners, desired to reduce the firm cash credit to zero by 30th September 2020. तो मतलब जो फाइनेंशियल ईयर के लिए पूरा बना रहे हो, तो till half financial year, Mr. W wants to reduce the firm cash credit to zero by 30th September and to have a positive cash balance of 1,45,000 by the end of the year. So basically, the firm name is EW Partner. One of the partner W is concerned about liquidity. He has given strong argument regarding the liquidity. Now he wants his cash credit limit to be zero till the half year, end of half year. And at the end of the complete year, he wants a positive cash balance of 1,45,000. Now, what is the requirement part? Compare and contrast feed forward control and feedback control. These are very important words. In the context of the above information, it means it's not a direct theoretical question. You have to apply the concept of feed forward, feedback control, along with the theory, along with the most important part, application to this question. Now, I will ask you the most important question related to this particular question. Only such point has to be revised by you in the last day before revision beta. I already recommend you, whenever you start learning for the very first time for any subject, try to prepare your own notes. Or if you are running short of time, identify what is the most crucial point or points in a particular question at that time itself. Because जब आप first time learn करते हो ना, you are having sufficient time. While in the second revision, third revision, revision before examination, you are running short of time. So if in the first revision, you already prepared yourself what you have to revise in the second, third, and the LDR last day before revision, definitely beta, it will help you a lot. At final level, how effectively you learned in the first revision is also important, but it also matters a lot how many times the revision has been done by a student. Even an average student can clear the CA final examination in first attempt. Only and only the confidence and the number of revisions are required. The more you revise, the more you can correlate the concept. The more you revise, the more you will be able to apply that particular concept in the examination, because there are a lot of concept in each and every subject. How a student can remember all those concepts? The only technique is revision, revision, and revision. Okay. So, regarding this particular point, only one thing is to be revised before the examination, and I'm asking that question itself. Along with the concept of feed-forward control, along with the concept of feedback control system, undoubtedly you will write those concepts. What other concept you will write in this particular case scenario related to budgetary control? वो जो concept है वो budget से related ही है, budgetary control से related है, but that concept has to be introduced in this particular question solution, otherwise you will not be able to get the marks. है ना? Identify that concept based on your own knowledge. I request each and every student, don't look at the solution part, it will not solve the purpose. Our purpose is to make us independent, to think on our own, so that we can face the examination with full confidence. So try it. Okay, there might be chances that you will not be able to identify that concept, but it doesn't matter. You are trying, that's most matter to you and me also for the examination purpose. तो आप मुझे बताइए बेटा, apart from feedback control, feed forward control, budgetary control का कौन सा ऐसा concept है जो आपने इंटर लेवल पे पढ़ा था, है ना, and you know that concept very well, undoubtedly. वो concept के बारे में हमें यहाँ पे लिखना ही पड़ेगा application part में, तभी जाके इसका आंसर हमारा कंप्लीट हो सकता है. And the hint is available in the question. Hint is छोटा हुआ क्वेश्चन है 5 to 7 लाइन का. Hint is available in the question itself. What other concept of budgetary control is also to be applied in this particular chapter? और वो इंटर से रिलेटेड है, लेकिन बहुत कॉमन कंसेप्ट है. आई एम गिविंग यू 2 minutes टाइम बेटा. No, beta Shubham, that's not the concept that will be applicable. Although your logic is correct, but that will not be concept that will be applicable to this particular question. Please identify, beta. Never give up. Okay, you have the capability, you have the ability to find out the answer. Try to your level best. Apart from applying the concept of feedback and feed forward, what is the concept that is applicable in this particular budget? You have to write the concept name also in the solution part. Okay, beta, can I start? And the concept name is cash budget. without writing the name of this concept, now beta, you will not get the mark, because feedback control system is to be applied for cash budget, along with the feedback control system is to be applied for cash budget only. Okay, so the whole question revolves around the concept of cash budget. How this will be identified? Through this line. This is the most important line through which you have to identify that yes, cash budget has to be the base, and based on cash budget, we will write the application of feedback control and feed forward control. So please write down in your copy, beta. Most important point of question number 1. Most important point of question number 1 given on page number 25. Most important point of question number 1 given on page number 25. Please write down, beta. As for the last 2 lines before the requirement part, company is focusing on, as per the last 2 lines before the requirement part, company is focusing on cash balance. Cash balance को inverted comma, comma. Therefore, the concept of feed forward, and feedback control, is to be applied in the context of इन्वर्टेड कॉमा में रेड पेन से लिखेगा, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड है ये, कैश बजट. ठीक है बेटा. अब आप इसके सॉल्यूशन पार्ट में आएंगे बेटा. व्हाट सॉल्यूशन पार्ट में आएंगे इसके आप. आई एम गिविंग यू टाइम टू रीड आउट दिस सॉल्यूशन पार्ट गिवन इन पेज नंबर 28, है ना. अब ये क्वेश्चन बड़ा सिंपल है, लेकिन सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड था यहाँ पे, कैश बजट को लेकर आपको एक पूरा फीडबैक और फीड फॉरवर्ड कंट्रोल सिस्टम एक्सप्लेन करना है ना. सो आई एम गिविंग यू टाइम ऑफ 3 minutes बेटा टू रीड आउट ऑन योर ओन the suggested answer given in page number 28, and in case after reading the solution part, if you are having any doubt, you are free to ask that doubt beta, na. I will definitely revert to that. So 3 minutes I am giving to you. After that we will start a new topic on this particular chapter, effect of budget difficulty level on performance. 30 seconds more beta to read out that solution part. Then we will start a new topic. Okay, beta. Hope you read out the solution part. Any doubt, beta? You can ask it. Let's start a new topic on this particular chapter, a very simple topic. Please open page number 10 of study material. Page number 10 of study material. Topic name is Effect of Budget Difficulty on Performance. है ना बेटा? First of all, let me ask a question. As an article assistant, what task would you prefer? A simple task, a clerical task, or suppose physical verification of stock, a very simple task. Anna. Second challenge, second task I can give to you is the challenging task. Matlab, the task level is somewhat above your ability, which will challenge you as a student of chartered accountant, the challenging task. And the third task, I am having a difficult task that no one has ever achieved such task. And it is much above your capability to deliver as a student of chartered accountant. So as an employer, suppose I am having three type of task, a very simple task in which you don't have to apply your brain, just go to the client place and take the physical verification of stock. The second one is a challenging one. You have the ability, since you're a student of chartered accountant, but you have to apply your mind, a challenging one. The third one will be the difficult one. It's very tough for a student of chartered accountant to complete that task. It's a difficult one. Which task would you prefer to get from your employer? Tell me, A, B, or C. Easy task, challenging task, or too difficult task? Because the answer provided by you is the concept of this particular topic, effect of budget difficulty on performance. Definitely, beta, I'm expecting the same answer, that majority of the student will say that the task they will prefer is the second one, that is the challenging task. They will not require the easy task. For that purpose, they are not doing the articleship work. They do not require the too difficult work that has not been achieved by anyone. They require the challenging one, that tune up the skill of a article assistant. So, if the budget difficulty is too less, then definitely the motivational will not be there. Enthusiasm जो होता है ना कुछ नया करने का, that will not be there. So your performance will not be improved. Second, if the budget is too difficult, then the mental attitude will play a role, that since it's too difficult, it is not possible to achieve that result. It is not possible to achieve that result. So the performance will be much lower as compared to the standard performance. What budget difficulty is expected by the employee is challenging. Challenging doesn't mean too simple. Challenging doesn't mean too difficult. It's a moderate challenge that you have to push up a particular level to complete that particular task. In that case, if there is a challenge that is within the limit of that employee, definitely the employee skill will be tuned up, and that will be the most effective way of preparing the budget. So there can be three types of budget: very easy to achieve, challenging one, and the too difficult one. Definitely each and every skilled employee, I am talking about skilled employee, each and every skilled employee will prefer the second task, challenging one. But if you are preparing budget for an unskilled worker, definitely they will prefer the more simplest task. They don't have to apply their mind. But depending on the person's skill set, you have to decide the budget level. Okay, beta? सो आइए बेटा देखिए अब आप इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक में जो पेज नंबर 10 में दिया गया है, पेज नंबर 10. Once budget has been set as performance target, surely performance will be evaluated. Yes, because the purpose of budgetary control is not the preparation of budget. After the budget period has been over, your performance will be evaluated. Your actual performance will be evaluated against the budgeted one. This can be a simply comparison of actual with the budgeted performance, or alternatively can be a more detailed comparison of actual performance with the flexible budget performance as found in the variance statement. So एक सिंपल परफॉर्मेंस ओके कर दिया और दूसरा है उस परफॉर्मेंस को मोर डिटेल में इवेल्युएट कर रहे हैं. व्हाट आर द कंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर, व्हाट आर द अनकंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर. जो आपका नेक्स्ट चैप्टर स्टार्ट होगा बेटा, चैप्टर नंबर 11 स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग, इन विच देयर इज अ स्पेशल टॉपिक known as controllable variance and uncontrollable variance. Whenever we find out the variance, suppose we find out the material price variance, that material price variance is to be bifurcated into two parts: controllable material price variance and uncontrollable material price variance. So it can be simply a identification of what is the material price variance, or it can be in detail one. The evaluation step is often one of the most argumentable, as here the performance is likely to be criticized and the employees will be sensitive. जब आप budget बना रहे हैं, then there is no problem. Whenever you are setting the budget difficulty, there is no problem. But once the actual result are compared with the budget and the findings are there, then definitely the last step is the most argumentative, because the employees will be criticized for whatever they have done wrong. Okay. So there are many potential difficulties. So there is an author known as Hofstede in 1968 has provided what should be the budget difficulty level. Budget have no motivational effect unless they are accepted by the manager involved as their own personal budget. If you want your employees, your managers to be motivated, they must be involved in the budget setting process. When they are involved in the budget setting process, then they consider that budget to their personal budget, and to achieve, they will provide their more than 100%. In next section, beta, we will learn there are two techniques of employee participation. One is top-down approach, and the second one is bottom-down approach. Both have their own limitation, both have their own advantages. So the first point the author is saying, if you want your employee to be motivated, then involve the employees, involve the manager in the budget setting process, so that the organizational budget can be accepted by those manager as their own personal budget. Up to the point where the budget is no longer accepted, the more demanding the target, the better the result achieved. Up to the point the budget is no longer accepted, मतलब एक लेवल के बाद जब वो बजट बिल्कुल टू डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है, उस लेवल के पहले जब तक आप चैलेंज बढ़ाते जाएंगे, द बेटर द रिजल्ट अचीव. Demanding budget are seen as more relevant than less difficult target. Demanding means challenging, but negative attitude result if they are seen too difficult. So 3 पॉइंट उन्होंने बोला है बेटा. बहुत इजी अगर आप टारगेट दे रहे हो तो उससे आपको परफॉर्मेंस नहीं मिलेगा. There should be demanding budget, means challenging budget. But if the budget is too difficult, then instead of getting the performance, you will be having negative result. है ना. इसको बहुत अच्छे से बेटा इन्होंने एक डायग्राम के थ्रू एक्सप्रेस किया है. Please look at this diagram given on page number 11. On this axis, the budget difficulty is being given easy, moderate, difficult, while the performance is given on y-axis. Okay, so as you increase the budgeted difficulty level आप बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं, तो you can check your performance is also improving. Your performance is also improving. This is the budget level, है ना. This is the budget level. किस लेवल तक आप उसको चैलेंज दे रहे हो. What about the performance? जब इजी रहता है तो उसका परफॉर्मेंस नॉर्मल है, धीरे धीरे चैलेंज आप बढ़ाते गए, उसका परफॉर्मेंस बढ़ता गया. बट एट अ पॉइंट विच इज कंसिडर्ड टू डिफिकल्ट, the performance is not even maintained, it will reduce drastically. So the organization has to be very careful while deciding the budget difficulty level. No two managers can have the same budget difficulty level. Based on their perception, based on their personality, we have to decide what should be the optimum budget difficulty level, because at this level, the performance is maximum. Beyond that level, if you increase the budgeted level, then definitely the performance will not be maintained. The performance will be fall down drastically. So what we have studied through this order, the first point, you have to involve your manager in the budget setting process. Then only they consider the organizational budget as their own budget, and then only you will get the motivational power from the employee. Second, less demanding budget are not acceptable for the organization. The more challenging the budget, the better will be the performance. But a very thin line of difference is there between the demanding budget and the too difficult budget. If the budget goes down to the next level, too difficult budget, then definitely our performance will be drastically reduced. Now, for more points, budget will be accepted by each and manager when there is a good upward communication exists. Good upward communication, मतलब जो budget को execute कर रहा है, he can easily talk, he can easily convey his concern to the top management. तो हम बोलेंगे yes, budget will definitely be accepted by the employees. Okay, now दो बजट टारगेट आपने सेट किया है, उसका रिएक्शन क्या होगा, दैट इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन मैनेजर पर्सनालिटी एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कल्चरल एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल नॉर्म्स. ठीक है बेटा, लिखिए इसको. इफेक्ट ऑफ बजट डिफिकल्टी ऑन परफॉर्मेंस. इफेक्ट ऑन बजट डिफिकल्टी, effect of budget difficulty on performance. Please write down beta first point. If the budget level is too simple, if the budget level is too simple, comma, even reasonable performance cannot be expected. Even reasonable performance cannot be accepted. Write down second point. Also, the budget should not be too difficult. Also, the budget should not be too difficult, comma, so as to avoid negative attitude of employee. So as to avoid negative attitude of employees. Third point, what is desirable? What is desirable? Dash the challenging budget. Dash करके लिखिए, the more demanding the budget is, the more demanding the budget is, comma, the better will be the performance. Next point लिखिए बेटा, fourth point. Managers will accept the budget in the following situations. Manager will accept the budget in the following situations. लिखिए बेटा, situation number 1. When they considered budget as their own personal target. When they consider budget as their own personal target, comma, and this is possible when and this is possible when they are involved in the budget setting process. And this is possible when they are involved in the budget setting process. When they are involved in the budget setting process. Situation number 2. When good upward communication exists. When good upward communication exists. That is, when employees are able to communicate their concern, when employees are able to communicate concerns with the person about them, with the person about them. Okay, beta. So I'm giving you the assignment. Please do this question before the next session. Case scenario available in page number 11. This has to be done by you. Case scenario available in page number 11. Okay, beta. Right now, we will do a question from test your understanding level. Question number 3rd, beta. Question number 3rd available in page number 26. Question number 3rd available in page number 26. Page number 26. Can we start this question, beta? Okay. This question is somewhat numerical also. The only question that contains the numerical data. Okay. Let's start the question. Question number 3rd available in page number 26. Great Bus Tour Company Limited is an open top double-decker bus sightseeing company, particularly identified with its special red and cream colored buses. So company name is GBTCL. यह ट्रांसपोर्ट बिजनेस में है. They are having double-decker bus, है ना? और इनका जो कलर होता है वो उससे से आइडेंटिफाई हो जाता है that this bus belongs to GBTCL. The color is special red and cream colored. It commenced operating in small town of Meghalaya in June 2015 with 4 buses, and as of 2019 operated over 44 buses in northeast region of India. So the starting will be in the Meghalaya with 4 buses in June 2015. After a successful period of 4 years, now they are operating in the entire region of North India with 44 buses in their fleet. Company operates 5 routes with stop at tourist destination. है ना? उन्होंने 5 route standardized बना के दिया है. Customer has to choose through which route they will go, और वहां पे stop भी देते हैं tourist destination पे. The company runs hop-on, hop-off bus tour of various hill with 124-hour ticket valid for unlimited journey on the road. तो जो भी पैसेंजर ट्रेवल करना चाहता है साइट सीइंग के लिए, they will purchase a ticket that is valid for 24 hours for unlimited journey on the route. So this is basically the history of the company. The name of the company is GBTCL. It is engaged in the business of bus services. They are having double-decker buses. Right now they are operating 44 buses, and they will provide a 24-hour tickets to the tourist on a charge basis definitely, and that will have an unlimited validity for that 24 hours journey. Now, what is the budget process and what is the incentive plan? As a part of management performance control and incentive scheme, it has been following participative budgeting approach. Participative means managers are involved while making the budget, है ना? उन्हें इन्वॉल्व किया जाता है, उनके कंसर्न सुने जाते हैं, उनके व्यू पॉइंट इनकॉर्पोरेट किए जाते हैं while making the budget. In company, budgeting is a joint process in which functional division बोले तो production department is a functional division, finance department is a functional division, marketing department is a functional division, 4. Budgeting is a joint process in which functional division develop their plan in conformity with the corporate goal for the next financial year. तो जो भी functional manager है, functional department है, they prepare their budget but keeping in mind the organizational goal. Based on this plan, division prepare functional budget and send to the appropriate management for review and approval. So once the budget has been prepared by the functional manager, they have been sent to the top authority for their approval. The budget, after the incorporation of the feedback and suggestion received from the field management, are finalized for the implementation. So one thing is sure, जो हमने just अभी भी point पढ़ा, in order to keep the employee motivated, they must consider the budget as their own personal target. And when they will consider the budget as their own personal target, when they are involved in the decision-making process. So right now, the budgeting process is participative. Departmental manager, functional manager prepare their budget, send it to the top management for their review and approval. Whatever suggestion has been given by the top management, that will be incorporated in the budget, and the budget will now be finalized. The finalized budget are used as a yardstick for performance measurement. So whenever their performance will be measured, the final budget will be taken as the benchmark. Comparing the actual performance with the yardstick, bonus and other performance related incentives are considered. So जब actual performance आपका हमारे पास data आएगा, we will compare that actual performance with the budgeted one, and thereafter the bonus and other incentive will be decided. The higher management believe that this performance control and incentive scheme is very helpful to measure the performance and fixing responsibility for the responsibility center. Okay, एक budgeted income statement हमें दिया है in 1000, है ना? So revenue हमें दिया है, how much revenue they are expected from the tourist. Variable cost में direct material in the form of fuel, lubricant and sundries 13,600. Direct labor has been given, variable overhead has been given, fixed cost, operating overhead, buses, garage, salary, इतना जाएगा, marketing and admin, and there is a profit of budgeted profit of 23,200 for a particular period. Okay, now current year income statement, it is also given in 1000, so no need to convert the data, the same can be easily compared. So this is current year income statement, it means it's actual data. ये हमें अब actual data दिया है. Revenue is 93,500 as compared to revenue of 1,13,800. Direct material is more than the budgeted, even though the volume is less. Direct labor is comparatively less. Other overhead is given, operating overhead, and most importantly, in the budgeted data, you are expecting a profit of 23,200. While actually the profit is not reduced, the profit is converted into loss. And in the para, it has clearly given that the performance compared with the actual will provide the base for bonus and other performance related bonus. In the given situation, there is a expected budgeted profit of 23,000 approximately, while the actual profit is not there. There is an actual loss of 250. Okay, other information. Surprisingly above, given current year actual result were not up to the mark. Definitely profit reduce नहीं हुआ, यहाँ पे तो profit eliminate होके हम loss में चले गए हैं. Actual result were clearly showing adverse performance in comparison with the budgeted figure. Clear? Managers of companies were upset because they didn't receive the bonus. हेलो, मैनेजर्स तो अपनी पड़ी है बेटा, यहाँ पे कंपनी को प्रॉफिट होना चाहिए था 23,200 का. चलिए कुछ सिचुएशन एडवर्स गई तो समझ में आता है कि प्रॉफिट रिड्यूस हुआ, यहाँ पे तो प्रॉफिट को आपने लॉस में कन्वर्ट किया, एंड दे आर अपसेट बिकॉज दे नो दे विल नॉट रिसीव द बोनस. मिस मैगी, टूर मैनेजर ऑफ रूट नंबर 3 सेड, ओके, वी लॉस्ट 2 month revenue and fuel prices are almost doubled. Now, one of the manager of route number 3, Miss Maggie, has provided the explanation why they're upset because of the losses. According to her, 2 months revenue they have lost. Why they are lost? It's not given right now. And fuel prices are almost doubled. We did our best, but these circumstances were beyond our control, and therefore we shouldn't penalize at all. The same thing, beta, we have learned in chapter number 7, performance measurement and evaluation. That whenever performance is measured, consider only those factors which are controllable from the viewpoint of employee. If you measure the performance based on controllable and uncontrollable factor, definitely that will be an injustice to the employee. So the same point has been highlighted by tour manager Miss Maggie, that they lost 2 months revenue and fuel prices has almost doubled. These two factors are not in our control. Therefore, our performance is showing adverse, and therefore we should not be penalized for those factors which are beyond our control. Why they have lost 2 month revenue? Let's check it out. In support of her statement, Miss Maggie provided following additional information. Rain is common in northern region of India, okay, but past year set a record in numbers. In July, the expected average was 1577 and reviewed 1810. तो लगभग आप देखेंगे रेनफॉल वो खुद बोल रही है, it's very much common in north region of India, but the about the expectation, the actual data was there. The expectation in July was 1577, while the actual is 1810. In August, it was 990, जो भी उनका measurement होता है mm, while the actual is 1535. So basically, they are dependent on tourists. If the rainfall is normal means according to the area, definitely the normal tourist season will be there. But if the rainfall is excessive, then definitely tourists will not be there. So that's why she said that we lost 2 months revenue because we were unable to operate in those 2 months of July and September due to heavy rainfall. Heavy rain in this 2 months disrupted normal life of the region. जब वहां के लोकल बंदे को ही लाइफ डिस्टर्ब है, so definitely there are no tourists for which we can use the buses. The fuel price has risen almost continuously since last year due to surge in global crude prices. So that's why she is saying that this point are beyond their control. Next, additional operational expense 22 lakh. 22 lakh को अगर हमें 1000 में बोलना है, so it can be called 2200. Also incurred to remove the milky appearance and give the stainless means buff, a new look affected by heavy rain. Definitely generally open में buff रहती है बेटा, तो heavy rain अगर हुई है तो definitely जो उसका exterior है that was damaged. So to make it normalize, to restore it, we have to incur 2200 in 1000 towards that. She claimed that revised budget with consideration of the above factor would give different result and lead to different conclusion. So ये जो बजट बनाया गया है, जो actual है, that contain uncontrollable factor. 2 months revenue has not been considered. Fuel prices has almost doubled as compared to the revenue. And the third one is additional operation expense has been incurred to restore the bus condition, exterior bus condition. So she is claiming if you can revise the budget based on this 3 factor, then definitely the picture will be different. It means they want a budget with 10 months revenue. They want the fuel prices which have almost doubled to be considered. And the third one, they want the operational expense to be increased by 2200 because it is due to heavy rain which is beyond the control of the tour manager. है ना बेटा? तो एक काम कीजिए, ये ओरिजिनल बजट इन्होंने बना के दिया है, ये 12 मंथ्स का है. अब आप एक काम करेंगे, यू विल प्रिपेयर वन रिवाइज्ड बजट फॉर 10 months that will consider the fuel prices impact, that will consider the additional cost that has been incurred to restore the exterior bus condition. तो एक रिवाइज बजट आप बेटा एक बार अपने लेवल पे ट्राई करें कि जो टूर मैनेजर ने आपको पॉइंट्स दिया है 3 पॉइंट, based on that point, if though budget is prepared and that revised budget will be compared with the actual condition, so might be the situation will be different. or it might be appear that the manager has definitely done their work, but since these are uncontrollable situation, that's why there is so much difference in the original budget compared with the actual performance, है ना बेटा। तो मैं आपको पूरे 5 मिनट्स देता हूं बेटा, पूरी कोशिश कीजिए आप एक एक आंसर मुझे निकाल के बताइए कि रेवेन्यू हम कितना लिखेंगे, डायरेक्ट मटेरियल कितना, डायरेक्ट लेबर कितना, वेरिएबल, एक एक पॉइंट आप पूरा ट्राई कीजिए बेटा। आई एम गिविंग यू सफिशिएंट टाइम ऑफ 5 मिनट्स, है ना। चलिए, पूरा कैलकुलेशन पार्ट है बेटा, प्लीज ट्राई ऑन योर ओन। इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू शुड डू द कैलकुलेशन ऑन योर ओन। What should be the revised budget based on the 3 points suggested by the tour manager? Once you're done with the calculation, please provide me the final revised budgeted profit or loss. Okay, Fairam beta, let's wait for other student to revert. We'll start in next 1 minute. Okay. Okay, beta, let's start. Certain things are uncontrollable from the viewpoint of a tour manager. So we have to prepare a budget with points that are controllable within the tour manager area. Okay. So the actual result is based on 10 months. So therefore, a revised budget will be there considering those 10 months. So 1,13,800 is the budgeted revenue for 12 months. If the budgeted revenue for 12 months. So divided by 12 into 10. So the budgeted revenue will be revised budgeted revenue will be 94,833. 94,833. This is the revised budgeted revenue. We have taken an assumption that each and every month will have the same volume of tourists, but logically it is wrong, because in a tourist place, all the 12 months, there will not be similar inflows of tourists. In the peak season, they will be having the maximum one, moderate, and the low season. But in the absence of information, we have nothing to do other than this calculation to assume that there will be an even number of tourists in all the 12 months. Had they been given the main season data, the moderate season data, and the low season data, then accordingly we can compare that one. This is the basic assumption behind this calculation. Okay. Now, for a few minutes, we will drop the calculation of direct material. We will come to the direct labor. Since direct labor is a variable cost, it will dependent on the revenue, that is number of units. So 40,500 is the budgeted labor cost for a revenue of 1,13,800. So for 94,833, the revised labor cost will be 33,750. Although for calculation purpose, you can do like this, beta, 40,500 divided by 12 into 10. The answer will remain same. But from presentation viewpoint, this calculation will be wrong. 40,500 divided by 12 into 10, because variable cost is not dependent on time. They are dependent on volume. They are dependent on production. So the better way to present the calculation of 33,750 is 40,500 linked with the revenue multiplied by the revised revenue. इसके लिए इतनी डायरेक्ट लेबर, तो इसके लिए कितनी. सेम विद द वेरिएबल ओवरहेड, कैलकुलेट कीजिए बेटा. द वेरिएबल ओवरहेड इज 6417. ठीक है. नाउ you cannot change the fixed cost for 10 months. Marketing and admin, operating fixed overhead, it is not dependent on volume. You have operated for 12 months, although for certain period of 2 months, the volume is affected. Fixed cost will be incurred for the entire period of 12 months. There is no doubt about that. But एक छोटा सा addition करना पड़ेगा. In the operating overhead, we are not considered the heavy rainfall effect. So for that, 2,200 will be added for the restoring of the pen condition of the buses. So 18,100 plus 2,200 will give you the answer of 20,300. ये 20,300 आ गया बेटा हमारा. Marketing and admin will remain same, 10,700. Now the most important calculation is direct material. Direct material हम यहाँ पे कितने रुपए का कंसिडर करें? This point is very, very, very important. है ना? आप बताइए मुझे. Direct material का आपका आंसर कितना है? The most important calculation of this complete question is computation of direct material, that is fuel cost for the revised budget. I am waiting for your answer, बेटा. आप मुझे communicate कीजिए. What is the fuel cost? Fuel cost का calculation भी आप मुझे बताइए. How you have calculated that fuel cost in the revised budget, along with the final answer. मैं wait कर रहा हूं बेटा आपका. आप मुझे answer communicate कीजिए. Okay, Nisha, I will once again explain बेटा. Operating overhead, देखिए operating overhead दिया है 18,100 का, है ना. कंसिडर अ सिचुएशन ऑफ लॉकडाउन, है ना। लॉकडाउन में मान के लिए फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन में आई एम कम्युनिकेटिंग द क्वेरी आस्क्ड बाय निशा, है ना। सपोज लॉकडाउन में बेटा ऑफिस बंद था फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन में, क्या ऑफिस का रेंट नहीं देना पड़ा? देना पड़ा। इवन द ऑफिस हैज बीन क्लोज डाउन फॉर 2 months, द ऑफिस रेंट विल बी देयर, आर्टिकल असिस्टेंट विल बी पेड, द ऑफिस स्टाफ विल बी पेड। तो जो फिक्स कॉस्ट है ना, दैट विल बी नॉट रिड्यूस फॉर अ शॉर्ट शटडाउन। हम इसको शटडाउन बोलेंगे टेक्निकली। अगर एक टेम्पररी शटडाउन है 1 or 2 months का, तो हमारी फिक्स कॉस्ट रिड्यूस नहीं होती है। when fixed cost will be reduced only and only when there is a permanent shutdown of the business. टेम्पररी शटडाउन अगर हमारा है 1 से 2 months का, तो कभी भी हमारी फिक्स कॉस्ट रिड्यूस नहीं होती है। सो 18,100 will remain same. Apart from that, we have not considered that due to heavy rainfall, our bus condition, exterior condition will be deteriorated. So therefore, we will additionally add 2,200 to restore that condition or due to the heavy rainfall. So 18,100 को हमने कम क्यों नहीं किया, समझ में आया बेटा? Because for temporary shutdown 1 or 2 months, our fixed cost will not reduce. रेंट हमें कंटिन्यूटी में देना है, सैलरी हमें कंटिन्यूटी में देना है, इंश्योरेंस हमारा कंटिन्यू में लग रहा है, डेप्रिशिएशन लग रहा है, म्युनिसिपल टैक्स में लग रहा है, सब खर्चे एज इट इज लग रहे हैं हमारे फिक्स कॉस्ट के, है ना। तो 18,100 एज इट इज है, प्लस उसमें हम 2,200 कर देंगे, जो मिल्की अपीयरेंस के कारण हमें और भी खर्चा करना पड़ा। Whether it's the point is clear, Nisha? Please reply with yes or no, beta. Whether the point is clear to you. And other student, please communicate me the answer of fuel cost, beta. Please fast. How we should compute the fuel cost in a logical manner according to the details given in the question. No, Firearm, that will not be the logic, beta. Double the direct material cost, then multiply by 10 by 12. No, beta. No. Okay, let's check it out, beta. What should be the answer? I'm talking about the fuel cost. Okay. $13,600 is the original budgeted fuel cost. Multiply by 2 by 1. I just doubled. Multiply by such fuel cost belongs to the original budgeted revenue of 1,13,600, while the revised budgeted volume is 94,833. 94,833. Okay, so 13,600 fuel price has been doubled. So सबसे पहले हमने उसको डबल कर दिया. But 13,600 is for a total volume of 1,13,800, while in the revised budgeted revenue we are having a volume of 94,833. ये वाला कैलकुलेशन रॉन्ग है इस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन में. सोचिए बेटा क्यों रॉन्ग है? Why this calculation is wrong? 13,100 का हमने डबल कर दिया, या अल्टरनेटिवली we can also present like this, but that won't be the illogical one. I already told you 13,200 को हमने डबल कर दिया, multiply by 10 months divided by 12 months. Even this presentation will also give the same answer as compared to the first presentation, but technically this is some wrong calculation because it's a direct cost. Direct cost is not dependent on months, it's dependent on revenue or it depends on volume. Why this calculation is wrong? Please try to understand better. Fuel prices have been almost doubled. Fuel prices has been almost doubled. लेकिन अगर suppose the diesel is 80 rupees per liter, the tour manager is saying the fuel prices is just doubled, but at which point of time? At the year end. At the year end. As compared to the year start, the fuel prices has been doubled at the year end. लेकिन fuel prices साल के पहले ही दिन डबल नहीं हुई है. The fuel price is not doubled at the start, at the very first day of the budgeted year. It has been increased gradually. 80 का 90 रुपी हुआ होगा, 90 का 95, 120, 130 और कुछ समय के लिए आपने 160 भी पे किया होगा. तो when you are comparing that fuel prices has been doubled, fuel prices have not been doubled in a single day. It has been continuously increased over a period of that budget period. And at the end of the year, we are able to compare. Now the price is 160, while the original price is suppose 80. That's why the fuel price is doubled. अगर आप इस कैलकुलेशन में जाते हैं तो आपने क्या अज्यूम कर लिया बेटा, साल के पहले ही दिन हमारी फ्यूल प्राइस डबल हो चुकी है. साल के पहले ही दिन हमारी फ्यूल प्राइस डबल हो चुकी है. दैट इज टोटली इलॉजिकल. ऐसा नहीं हो पाएगा. सो व्हाट वी विल डू, देन सजेस्ट मी द सॉल्यूशन. बेटा ऐसा तो नहीं कर सकते, दिस विल गिव अ रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन. सो वी आर नो अदर ऑप्शन. हम इसको लॉजिकली इस प्रकार से कर सकते हैं बेटा, जो 19,600 है, दिस इज द एक्चुअल फ्यूल कॉस्ट, जिसमें 80 का 85 रुपी भी हुआ, दैट इज ऑल्सो इंक्लूडेड. 80 का 90 रुपी हुआ, दैट इज ऑल्सो इंक्लूडेड. 80 का 120 हुआ, दैट इज ऑल्सो इंक्लूडेड. 160 भी इंक्लूडेड. सो 19,600 is for the revenue of 93,500. 19,600 is for the revenue of 93,500. So इस वॉल्यूम के लिए हमें कितने रुपए का फ्यूल लगना चाहिए था? दैट्स द ओनली लॉजिकल वे अवेलेबल इन दिस क्वेश्चन. बिकॉज इस डेटा को अगर आप यूटिलाइज करके करेंगे तो वो बहुत इलॉजिकल अजम्पशन हो जाएगा कि ऑन द वेरी स्टार्ट ऑफ द फर्स्ट डे ऑफ द बजट द फ्यूल प्राइसेस आर डबल्ड. प्रैक्टिकली इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, है ना. सो लॉजिकली 19,600 हैज बीन considered considering the continuous increase in the fuel prices. For 19,600 if for the revenue of 93,500. तो देखिए क्या कैलकुलेशन होगा. 19,600 if for the revenue of 93,500, so for a revenue of 94,833, what would be the fuel cost? So यही एक लॉजिकल तरीका है. Although this is not 100% logical बेटा ना, but given the question detail, इससे अच्छा लॉजिकल तरीका हमारे पास कुछ भी नहीं है टू कंसीडर द फ्यूल कॉस्ट, है ना बेटा. अब आपके कोई डाउट है रिगार्डिंग द फ्यूल कॉस्ट और द क्वेश्चन, यू कैन आस्क मी बेटा. बताइए, कोई डाउट इसमें आपको फ्यूल कॉस्ट के कैलकुलेशन में? इज द कैलकुलेशन क्लियर टू ईच एंड एवरी स्टूडेंट बेटा? Okay, now based on this calculation, what is the budgeted, revised budgeted profit or loss? We can now check the solution part beta. Okay, for the revised budgeted income statement is 3787, 3787, while the actual loss is 250. So the detail has been given that fuel cost is 21% of sale as compared to 12% of budgeted sale. इस प्रकार से हम पूरी डिटेल को एक्सप्लेन कर देंगे. यहां पर हम एक और चीज बोल सकते हैं बेटा, if we have applied the concept of feed forward control system, feedback नहीं, feed forward control system, then definitely the negative impact can be minimized to a greater extent. So in the given question, the organization has not implemented the feed forward control system. They have implemented the feedback because budget has been prepared. That budget has been compared with the actual budget, actual detail with the budgeted one. So उन्होंने पूरा feedback control system apply किया, but have not implemented the feed forward control system. Had they implemented the feed forward control system, then definitely the situation is not such threatening, है ना. वहां पे जो लॉस हो रहा है कहीं ना कहीं उसको प्रॉफिट में ला सकते थे, because if we forecast the negative situation much earlier before that event happen, then definitely we will work on that situation to minimize the adverse impact on that, है ना बेटा. चलिए अब आपको मैं समय देता हूं बेटा. पेज नंबर 29, कैलकुलेशन पार्ट तो आपने पूरा कर ही लिया है, उसको दोबारा करने की आपको जरूरत नहीं है. जो भी थ्योरेटिकल पार्ट दिया है ना, एक बार आप उसको पढ़ लीजिए, क्या कैसे क्या क्वेश्चन ने पूरा एक्सप्लेन किया. अगेन 3 to 4 minutes आर अवेलेबल टू यू बेटा. हाथ के हाथ पढ़िएगा बेटा ना. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट द क्वेश्चन शुड बी कंप्लीटेड इन द क्लास itself. I'm giving you the time so that the question number third will be completed in the class itself. You don't have to do it after the session is over. Okay, beta, 3 to 4 minutes are available with you. One more minute if available to you, beta. Please read out the solution of question number third very carefully. Okay, beta. Have you read out that the same? Okay. Now we are left with two topics. The chapter is very small. There are total 4 topics. We are left with 2 topics. A very important topic is participation in budget setting process. This topic will tell you whether the employees, whether the managers will be involved while preparing the budget in the decision making process. So there are 2 approaches given to this. The first one is known as top-down approach. The other one is known as bottom-down approach. Both have their limitation, both have their advantage. We will study this topic in detail on next session. And what are the advantages? What do you mean by top-down approach or bottom-up approach? What are the advantages in which situation the bottom-up approach, that is the participative approach, is preferable? For detailed topic will be coming in the next session. And the most unique topic of this particular chapter is the topic named as beyond budgeting, in which no budget guideline will be provided by the top management. No budget guideline will be provided by the top management. The branch manager, the functional manager are free to set their budget. There is no interference whatsoever from the head office or from the top management. At the end of the year, we will compare the performance of our departmental manager or branch manager, not with their budget, but with their external competitor. कि कॉम्पिटिटर के कंपैरिजन में आपने अपना परफॉर्मेंस कैसा दिया है. Based on that, we will evaluate your performance. While traditionally what we are doing, we are evaluating the manager performance based on actual result compared with the budgeted result. While in beyond budgeting, the actual result of the departmental manager, functional manager, or the branch manager will be compared with that of competitor, not with their internal budget. Management said that we have nothing to do with the budget. Whatever budget you are preparing for yourself, do it on your own. We will not interfere. Just we will compare your performance with the competitor so that the real performance target can be achieved. Those are the 2 important topics that we will discuss in the next session. If time permit in the next session, definitely we will start from basic of standard costing. As I already committed to you, whenever the chapter standard costing will be started, we will provide a comprehensive 2-hour basic for inter revision, है ना. क्योंकि जब तक आपका इंटर में मटेरियल, लेबर, वेरिएबल ओवरहेड और फिक्स्ड ओवरहेड के वेरिएंस कंफर्म नहीं होंगे, you will not be able to cope up with the final level concept, है ना. Because it has been assumed in final level that you know the very basic of standard costing. So don't worry, beta. We will give the time, enough time, so that all the concept can be revised. And even you, if you have not studied the chapter standard costing, if you follow the steps suggested by me in the basic of intercosting, definitely you will be able to cope up with the final level standard costing. And one thing is sure, beta, in almost all the examination, there is a question on standard costing, and that too of minimum 8 to 10 marks. So probability is very, very brighter for chapter standard costing. It will cover a minimum of 8 to 10 marks in the examination, minimum. Okay, beta. Any other query of yours in this particular subject? So by the end of the session, beta, we have almost completed 36 session, 36, session related to this subject, strategic cost management and performance evaluation. You have been a great audience who have listened very carefully, participated in all the discussion part. I'm highly grateful to each and everyone, beta, especially all the students. If any specific doubt related to this concept or any generalized doubt about the subject, you can ask, beta. We are having still a time of 4 to 5 minutes left with us. We can utilize that time towards solving the query session. Okay. For the content part, today's lecture is over. But for the query session, if you are having any query, you can ask it, beta. Oh, wow, Nisha. Thank you, beta. Nisha has joined the live session from today. Earlier, she has joined the recorded classes. Okay. Yes, Nisha, you can abstain standard costing chapter because there is no linkage with the earlier chapter. Or total there are 11 chapters in the device syllabus. The earlier 10 chapter has nothing to do with the chapter standard costing. Fairam beta, definitely I will put your proposal to the board of studies. If they agree, definitely we will have a revision lecture, but that is not on me. That is, I will definitely forward your request to the concerned person beta. You know? Okay, Shubham beta, no doubt beta. You can have the session, recorded session available in the YouTube. Okay, beta. So thanks a lot for watching today's session. God bless you all. Have a great day. Thank you.